What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another installment of Prospects Overload presented by Prospects Worldwide. As always, I'm your host, Drake Man. You can follow me on Twitter at DrakeMan4. And I'm joined here by my co-host, Austin Farmer. Austin, just say hi.
What's up, everybody? Yeah, like Drake said, I'm Austin Farmer, and you can follow me on Twitter at AustinF0421. And I'm excited for this episode, man, because we have one of our favorite people on our team.
Now, Austin, we have had Milton on, and it has just been us two. But today we have a brand new member of our team that is on the podcast.
Yeah, man, I'm really excited. He goes to a lot of games in Arizona, and he makes my life a lot easier with video editing. He's probably one of the most entertaining people that I've ever met.
And for the people that don't know, we have Cadon Schmidt joining us. How's it going, Cadon?
Going pretty good. I appreciate that introduction, guys.
Yeah, we got you, bro.
You're welcome. Yeah, you're welcome. Of course, man. So, guys, we've started off normally with start, bench, cut, or stat of the day, but we're just going to dive right into a new segment called Trade Retrospective. And this is pretty obvious. A lot of people do it, but we're going to go to a trade that there were multiple top prospects or even just top prospects in general traded. And we're going to start off with a doozy. Are you guys ready?
Let's go.
Let's go. Okay.
So Rays acquire Randy Arozarena, Jose Martinez, and a compensation A draft pick, which was Alika Williams, for Matthew Liberatore, Edgardo Rodriguez, and a competitive balance B pick, which ended up being Tink Hence. Now, I know that you two, we have talked about this before, but now I know you two may not be the most positive people about the Rays return, but let's just hear what you guys, who do you think won, who lost? Do you think that this will be even in the future? What do you guys think?
Yeah, right now I think that the Rays have won short term, but I feel like Randy had the monster postseason that, helped him get the World Series title, but I don't know. Yeah, like you said, we're not the most positive outlook. We don't have the most positive outlook on that. I mean, Randy is okay overall. I do feel that the postseason really helped his hype, but at the end of the day, he's an average player overall. And they gave up Matthew Liberatore, as you said, and I really like Liberatore's stuff. So I feel like long term, the Cardinals definitely won with the potential that Liberatore has, and Arozarena is, he's okay.
Well, you guys know that this podcast is full of hot takes, so I'm going to start us off and give us our first one of the day. Randy Arozarena will be out of the MLB by 2026.
Okay,
be the most irrelevant guy you've never heard of. He'll be there for 4 more years, and then he's gone. I don't see him being able to produce in the MLB consistently, and eventually the Rays will just move on from him.
Wow, that is a very hot take. Very hot take, Cadon. Austin, is Milton here, or is that actually Cadon Schmidt? I don't know. That's a lot of hot takes going on. Now,
so based off that alone, I'm telling you right now, the Cardinals win the trade 100% of the time.
Wow, that is very hot, dude. I mean, I think my room's on fire now. So thanks a lot.
I'm sweating over here, man.
Yeah, that was very, very hot. Now, I'm going to be the more optimistic one for both sides. I think the Rays did very well in this trade. Yes, Jose Martinez is gone, but they did get a couple prospects for him, as you guys remember. Now, I'm not the highest one on Alika Williams. I think he's more of a defensive first player, not really going to do much impact with the bat. But I think it comes down to the draft picks, as I was just saying. Tink Hence and Matthew Liberatore. I think that's going to form a very nice combo for the Cardinals in the future. Tink Hence, if you guys don't know, he has a mid-90s fastball with a slider with a lot of late bite, and that slider is absolutely filthy. So I think that he's one of the more underrated players in the Cardinal system, and I'm not trying to be like, biased by any means, but I think he is. But I also think that the Rays did well in this trade as well, especially because I was excited for Edgardo Rodriguez as well, but he's more of a offensive first player, and I have no clue where he's going to play because he is listed as a catcher, but I think he's more of a first baseman because he's just not that good of a defender. Okay, so now that I'm hearing crickets from those two, I'm assuming that they don't have anything else to say. We're going to move on to the stat of the day. And this will be the highest on-base percentage in Double-A. And there are a few surprising names. And these are 2021 numbers. I know, obviously, there's no 2022 season. But number one, Austin, this is going to make you really happy because I know you're really high on this guy. But Austin Martin with a 414 on-base percentage in 2021. Austin, I want to get your thoughts on that really quick before I continue with the list.
Yeah, a lot of people have been, I don't know if I would necessarily say down on Martin, but the hype isn't what it was before. And part of that, he did miss some time, and I still have Martin as a plus bat. I think that he can hit over 300 regularly in the bigs, and his average was only 270 in 2021, but 414 is good at any level. And I think that still shows that, he's still got the discipline and he's going to end up crushing. He just has to, he needs to get more consistent at bats. And I feel that, he did play the entire season in Double-A and finished with the Twins, as everyone knows. So I think that there is a slight possibility that we can see him by the end of 2022 or he makes the 23 opening day roster.
I mean, Austin Martin was part of that Jose Barrios trade. Everyone was familiar with that. I feel like Simeon Woods was the bigger piece personally than Austin, but you could argue either way.
Very good point. Very good point. And I just want to continue with this list. Like I said, there's a lot of surprises here. Austin, our boy Jonathan Miranda came in at 2 at a 410. So I can't believe this one. Jonah Bride coming in at 407. Which amazes me. Number 4, Nick Plummer, 404. Number 5, Otto Lopez at 398. Number 6, Tristan Costas at 395, which is ahead of Adley Rutschman, who's 392. 8 was Miguel Vargas at 386. 9, Michael Busch at 386. And 10, Samad Taylor at 385. Now, what the heck is up with that list? We have some stars with Adley Rutschman and Cassis. And then we have guys like Jonah Bride and Nick Plummer, who are 24, 25-year-olds in Double-A who really excelled and really came into their own in 2021.
Yeah, it's an interesting list for sure. And, like you said, Adley and Cassis are the stars there. But yeah, Jonah Bride, like, what? And Plummer, I'm honestly befuddled.
I'm going to jump in on a couple of these names. A couple of these guys I got to see a lot during the AFL. Specifically Jonah Bride and Tristan Costas. So those are the two I'm going to really jump in right here. If you would have told me that Jonah Bride would be on the top 10 list for OBP in Double-A this year, I would have told you that there is absolutely no possible way. Jonah Bride looked like the most average player during the AFL, and nothing really stood out to me there. And then with Tristan Costas, the reason I think his OBP is so high is because he does have a good eye at the plate. He's not going to swing at bad pitches and get himself out, so he isn't going to draw a lot of walks. So I think that's huge for the OBP. So I can understand that one.
Yeah, very, very well said. And I got to agree with you on Bride. I don't know where this came from, man. I saw him a few times. I didn't see him as much as you, obviously, but yeah, he didn't really look too promising to me. He had, I think I saw 1 or 2 hits from him, and they weren't really that special. So
yeah.
Now, I'm actually going to move forward. I do want to talk about this list a little bit more, but in more detail to Austin Martin and Samad Taylor, who Martin was drafted by the Blue Jays and Samad Taylor is currently with the Blue Jays. And Austin Martin, 22 years old, and Samad Taylor is 23 years old. Austin Martin hit 270 batting average with a 414 on base percentage, 382 slugging, and a 796 OPS. Samad Taylor hit 294, 385, 503, 888. Austin Martin had 5 home runs. Samad Taylor had 16. 18 doubles for Martin, 17 doubles for Samad Taylor. 2 triples for Martin, 1 triple for Taylor, 128 weighted runs created plus with Martin, a 141 weighted runs created plus with Taylor, and 14 stolen bases compared to Martin had 14, Taylor had 30. My question here is, my theory here, do you guys think the Blue Jays traded Martin because of the breakout of Samad Taylor?
I could totally see it. If you're thinking about the age factor and the stats and stuff like that, like you said, They're both very similar, and I'd honestly lean Taylor with with most of these stats like it shows. So it's very possible that the Blue Jays just decided that we're gonna get two of the same player, I'm gonna take the Samad Taylor and see what I can build around it.
Yeah, I guess with the breakout that Taylor did have, I can see that they probably felt that it was worth to trade Martin, swap the two as part of the deal, because they already have Bichette at shortstop, and they did have Semien at second base, who now is with the Rangers. But I guess at the time, like, everything kind of fit into place. So I definitely would think that Taylor was kind of like the safety piece of the trade, and they figured worst comes to worst, he's a solid big league backup, and I think that he definitely fit the piece in the trade.
All right, so we did just go over Austin Martin and Samad Taylor, just comparing the two. That was a little fun, but now here's where the hot takes it turned up a little bit. I know we already had that with Randy Arozarena being out of the league in 4 years, but now we have start, bench, cut. Start, bench, cut. This is where if you're a coach, you have three players. You got to start one, bench one, cut one. And now we have the three players of Jordan Walker, Kobe Mayo, and Blaze Jordan. Austin, who are you starting? Who are you benching? And who are you cutting?
Yeah, for me, I got to start Jordan Walker. I really like his athleticism. For me, he is a 45 bat, 55 power, and his power might increase. He's getting stronger and bigger every season, and he definitely had a breakout 2021. I would have to bench Mayo and cut Blaze Jordan. Mayo and Jordan are similar with the bat, 45 hit plus power, at least for me. I do like Mayo's arm better, and he also is a third baseman versus Blaze Jordan, who is a first baseman. So there's my hot take on that.
So you don't think Blaze Jordan's 6 a third?
No, I would see him moving over to first.
Oof, interesting. Okay. Now, Cadon, what's your take here?
My take is very similar to Austin's, but I'm going to flip Mayo and Walker. So I'm going to start Mayo. I'm going to bench Walker, but I'm also going to cut Jordan.
Okay, that is very interesting. Let's hear it.
I don't know what it is, but Kobe Mayo has slowly become one of my favorite prospects in that loaded Baltimore system. I just think that he's going to be the big league guy, that he's going to be those big names. And I don't know what it is, but like Walker, I feel like is going to get lost in the shuffle in St. Louis. I feel like he's going to be a good player, but I feel like he's going to get lost that shuffle. But as Austin said with Blaze Jordan, I feel like this is going to be a power bat, and I don't think he's going to be able to stick a third either. I think he's going to end up either being a DH role or he's going to end up at first.
Sorry, guys. I was just counting on my fingers how many hot takes Cadon has had this episode. But that is your opinion, and I it's not that I necessarily agree with it, because I just think that Jordan Walker is a future third baseman. Actually, maybe not for third base, but maybe first base as well. But I think he is.
Did you forget to mention that Drake's a Cardinals fan?
Bias.
Sure. Okay. Sure. But I think he's a future in St. Louis. They do have Nolan Gorman, but he's going to be their second baseman, I feel like. And with the DH coming, he can even DH when Walker's ready to come up to the majors. But I got to start Jordan Walker. I know I may sound biased, but yeah, I agree with you guys. I think that Blaze Jordan needs to be cut. I think that there's way too much swing and miss with this game, and I think that Kobe Mayo. I'm not going to be as enthusiastic as Cadon with Mayo, but I think that he'll be the better player overall than Blaze Jordan. But I feel like all three do have pretty good potential, and they all could be studs in the future. All right. So I'm hearing crickets again, so that must mean you guys are good.
I'm good.
So, I'm good.
Okay. Well, yep. Okay, perfect. So now we move on to everyone's favorite segment of Overrated, Underrated. Of course, we've had a lot of hot takes with this, and especially towards Yankees fans. But I don't think we have a Yankees player here, right?
We don't.
No, not this segment. That's shocking.
Wow, that is shocking. All right, well, Austin, we're going to start off with you. who is your most overrated prospect in baseball?
All right. For me, this segment, it's going to be Patrick Bailey. I know that a lot of people really like Patrick Bailey, especially in San Francisco. And for me personally, I did get to see him in AFL, and his glove was very average. It looked like he needed to work on blocking, and I mean, his arm was okay from the little bit that I saw. His bat was very okay. Nothing really ever stood out to me during that time. So I know that for a while people were wondering, oh, who's going to start either Bart or Bailey? And for me, you got to go Bart all the way. I feel Bailey will be a solid backup, but that's my take on that.
Well, Austin and Drake both know that my overrated list could be probably 80% of the MILB right now. So I'm going to save you guys some of my bigger names. But today we're going to go with Maximo Acosta from the Texas Rangers.
Well, thanks for that shot there, Cadon.
Austin, you know I love you.
Love you too, bro.
But so Maximo Acosta, I got to see a ton of during the ACL this year. And the more I looked into it, the less and less impressed I was. I came in thinking he was a big name based off all the hype and all the people talking about him, especially in the card collecting community. But after some further review, I noticed a lot of holes in his swing. The biggest issue I saw was he was stepping out a lot, especially on inside pitches. So he wasn't able to get the bat around, which ended up leading to a lot of ground balls to third base and the shortstop. And well, especially at the ACL level, this shouldn't be happening.
Now, I do want to bring up a really quick point about that. We talked in a prior podcast about that with what you're explaining right there, where you saw Twitter or whatever just raving about Maximo Acosta, and you go there and you're like, what the heck? Why are people so high on this guy? That, like, we were talking about that with all these international signings. Like, they could be just a stud on video, and then when you go see him at live, it's like it doesn't match up, and you're wondering what is going on.
Yeah,
and I encourage the listeners of this podcast to go look at some of the videos we have on Acosta and see if you can see it yourself. You can see the foot stepping out and leading to a lot of ground balls.
Yeah, and I wouldn't say that he didn't look uncomfortable, or he didn't look comfortable at the plate. He kind of seemed like he wasn't as confident as you would hope. That's what I noticed from the video as well. Like he was getting fooled, and I don't know. I can, I like Acosta in that he's a Rangers prospect, but I'm not as high on him as others as well. But yeah, definitely go check that footage out because you'll notice some things for sure.
Definitely.
Now my overrated, I don't even know how this guy's still a prospect technically. I got to go with Tristan Costas. I cannot believe how many people are saying he's going to be an impact player with the Braves. I get his defense is off the charts good, but his offense, I don't think is going to be anywhere near what people are expecting. Now, Tristan Costas he's 23 now. I feel like he should already be in the majors and already have that starting role with the Braves for how much hype he has. Like I said, I know that the defense is incredible. I know that it's the best part of his game, but that offense, I'm sorry, I just don't see him being anything more than a defensive first center fielder going forward for the Braves.
And the problem is the Braves have given him opportunities and he hasn't been able to produce yet. So he's had the chance to win a job in the outfield there and hasn't done it.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people are expecting his bat to be like a 55. I would say, honestly, I've always seen it as about a 45 bat, and maybe that's even being a little bit generous with like 30 power. You can rave all you want about the defense, but in order to be the impact player that a lot of people are thinking, you have to have that well-balanced overall game, and he just doesn't have that at the plate.
Exactly how I feel. Now, just to separate it out a little bit, how about we go now to our underrated section? Austin, take it away.
Yeah, for my underrated, I'm going to go with the guy who also isn't really that great with the bat, but, I got to go with Nick Allen. I feel for the level of defensive capabilities that he has, for me, he's a plus defender with a plus arm. I might be generous giving him a 50 bat with 30 power. I honestly liked his swing when I went to go see him in where was that, Frisco, over the summer, and his bat has come a long way. So I do think that he'll be able to keep up. He's not going to be an impact player at the plate, but man, when he's at short, he just makes hard plays look easy. He has a lot of range, and he's only like 5'8", so for him to he's got really soft hands. For him to make those effortless plays, man, I don't understand why nobody talks about him. And he did fall to the third round in the 2017 draft because of his bat, but I do feel that his development has come a long way since the draft, and he finished in AA in 2021.
So my underrated prospect is going to be Jose Miranda of the Minnesota Twins. He's starting to get that hype now, but going into last year, no one was talking about this guy. I think that this guy can be a potential power hitter that the Twins need. The Twins' struggles come with power and come with pitching. So I think getting at least a semi-solution with the power here to add with some of their other bats right now could be huge for them. And I see him debuting sometime next year. He finished last season in AAA, so he's definitely shown that he's ready to be at the major league level. The question just is, will he be able to consistently produce?
That's a very good point. Very good point. Now, Austin, my player is similar to yours, especially, maybe not talent-wise, but they both play for the Athletics. And that's probably why they're getting no love. Nobody's talking about them. I have no clue, other than maybe because he plays for the Athletics, why no one is talking about Zach Geloff. I think he's their number one prospect. Sorry, Soderstrom, but this guy is an absolute stud. He advanced 3 levels to AAA last year, got a small sample size of 13 plate appearances, but hit .583 with a .615 on base percentage, which is insane to me, especially for a guy that was drafted in 2021, second round. So I just feel like people need to start talking about this guy and start getting hyped on him. Am I crazy here?
You're not. Drake, I love Zach Geloff as well. Honestly, I got to see a little bit of him during Instructs, and he ended up playing, I think it was a Thursday. He ended up playing, and I went to go see them again on Friday, and he wasn't in the lineup, didn't see him on the bench. I looked down, and they brought him to AAA middle of the playoff run for the Reno Aces. And he ended up getting those 13 at-bats, like you said, and ended up actually being able to produce at the AAA level. So be able to jump from Instructs to AAA level within a day is just crazy, in my opinion.
Yeah, and he did finish with a .422 on base percentage and stole 13 bases in 15 attempts. And he finished with a .988 OPS. So, considering he was just drafted and he makes that big of a jump right away, I don't understand why people aren't talking about him.
I just think he plays for the Athletics, and the Athletics system isn't the best. So, it's not even good. So,
there's a hot take right there, folks.
Sorry, Athletics fans.
So yeah, sorry, Athletics fans. It's just your top 5 is good, but the rest is just it falls off a cliff for me. But
Robert Poston, cough, cough.
We could always talk about my favorite athletic prospect that you guys always yell at me about, AJ Puck.
Oh gosh, that'll be for busted prospects later when how close he is to being labeled as a bust. Okay, all right. Well, now we're gonna move on. I like that, Cadon, you talked about the ACL a little bit, because that pairs up perfectly for what we're about to talk about. 2022, guys we're excited for the Dominican Summer League, the Arizona Complex League, or maybe the Florida Complex League. What do you guys? What names do you guys have?
For me, this is kind of a biased choice. I actually have 2 names, but the first one is pretty biased. I'm really excited for Baron Lora, and he had a lot of hype, and he ended up doing pretty well in the Dominican Summer League after that. Really, the fatal car accident, which that can mess anybody up. But so he already has overcome a little bit of adversity there. And as an 18-year-old in the Dominican Summer League, his batting average wasn't that great. Actually, it was pretty bad at 218, but he had a 413 on base percentage with 6 bombs and stole 10 bases. And, I think when he signed, he was like 220 pounds, and now Baseball Reference has him listed at 240. But after y'all saw him in Instructs, and he looks more like 260 pounds. So he's a big boy. He's going to hit some big bombs. And, I would like to see his hitting improve overall, but there's a lot of hype for Laura, and he's just continuing to grow. And I'm excited to see what he can do at the ACL. Yeah, another name for me is going to be Yiddy Cap. He's a pretty lanky shortstop at 6'3", 175 pounds. In the DSL, he had 270 with a 329 on base percentage. And what I found really impressive was he only struck out 35 times in 216 plate appearances with 17 doubles, and he did steal 9 bases. His base running looks like it needs to improve. He was caught 8 times, and his power, he only hit 2 bombs. So, I haven't seen him yet per se, but with those numbers, I'm excited to see what he'll be able to do at the FCL, and hopefully we'll get some good footage on him so I can, not stat scout, which I just did there.
That's okay, Austin. It's okay. With limited video, I mean, stat scouting is one of the better ways to do this type of thing. But Cadon, let's hear yours.
So I got 3 names for you. 2 of them are going to be Cleveland Guardians. The first one is going to be Tanner Beebe. Tanner Beebe was a 21 draft pick this past year out of Cal State Fullerton, and I believe was a 5th rounder. I ended up actually getting to see his official debut here during the Instructs for the Indians. Technically, it doesn't count as their minor league debut, but it was still his first appearances in a Guardian, or technically a Cleveland jersey. And I was impressed with what I saw. He had 2 strikeouts in the inning and a third that he ended up working. Another name from the Guardians that I was really impressed with, that I also got to see his official debut, was Trenton Denholm. Trenton Denholm ended up striking out 4 guys in 1 inning. You ask, how is this possible? He ended up striking out through all 3 guys, and the coaches decided that instead of just calling the inning, they wanted to have a fourth guy. Normally, in order to get 4 strikeouts, you have to have a drop 3rd strike, but in Instructs, the rules kind of get thrown out the window. So this guy ended up striking out all 4 batters he faced in the 1 inning and was topping out around 97. And coming out of a 14th rounder out of UC Irvine, that was impressive to me. So I'm very excited to see what he's able to do in a full season of ACL next year. And the last name, the name that you guys are going to be hearing me talk about all the time for the next 20 years. Mariners prospect Juan Pinto. This lefty is going to be the future of the Mariners. I am telling you right now that Juan Pinto will win a Cy Young Award in his career. How do I know this? I just have a feeling. Austin, Drake, come on and join the club. Tell me that I'm wrong right now.
You're wrong, because it's way too soon to be saying that.
I mean, from what the internet stuff that I've seen of Pinto, I really like his potential. I think I saw a workout video, and he seems to have a really good work ethic for the most part. But
all right, I'm just gonna move on here so that Cadon doesn't wet his trousers over there. I also have 3 names. I mean, 2 of them are Cardinals, and I know Baez, Cardinals fan, but I'm gonna go with my first one being Joshua Baez, which is 2nd round pick in the 2021 draft. As we all know, he has tons of power in that bat. He was at the FCL last year, but the numbers really weren't that good. He only hit 158 with a 305 on base percentage. Granted, it was only a 95 plate appearance sample size, so that is very, very minimal. But I like the potential of him. I think I've seen people comp him to Aaron Judge, which I don't know if that is actually legitimate or not, but I'm excited to see where he is in 2022. My second one is another Cardinal, but I love his nickname. for you guys know, his name is Super Mario. That is his nickname. Luis Pino is who I'm talking about here. So Luis Pino, he was in the DSL last year, and he did have a 362 on base percentage. And I know that the pitching isn't that great in the DSL, but he did hit 6 home runs with 7 doubles. And I just feel like there's more power in the bat than what we've seen. I like we said, Super Mario did have a hype video dropped when he signed with the Cardinals. That was pretty fun to watch. And the last guy is Daniel Montestino. He's a left-handed hitting outfielder, 17 years of age, out of the DSL. He had a ridiculous DSL last year. He hit 316 with a 444 on base percentage, 4 home runs with 13 doubles. Padres fans, I feel like we keep saying that AJ Preller has traded the farm. I don't think that you can say that. He still has his top 5 with Abrams, Hassel, Campusano, maybe Gore if he can get back to his self. And he still has Victor Acosta. He still has Rubio Angeles. He still has Daniel Montestino. And I'm actually excited to see if he's in the ACL next year. Austin, Cadon, as we start to close this off, as a tradition here at Prospects Worldwide, the newbie, since Cadon, this is your first podcast with Prospects Overload, let's hear your top 5 favorite prospects.
Let me guess. Juan Pinto, and Juan Pinto.
Well, you did get one of the 5 right, at least. Juan Pinto is on my list. Number 2, and these are not in any order. These are just 5 prospects that really have caught my eye and are really intriguing to me. My biggest thing is I like to keep prospects that I got to see in person. So all 5 of these guys outside of Pinto, I've seen in person. First one being Gabriel Moreno of the Toronto Blue Jays. I think Moreno is the second best catcher in baseball, right? In the minor league system right now, behind Rutschman, obviously. Second would be James Trientos of the Chicago Cubs. I loved what I saw from Trientos during the ACL and also in Instructs, and I think that this guy is going to be a dude for the Cubs system, and I just think that he has what it takes to end up playing second base, and I see him being a future big leaguer. Third, I'm going to go with Nick Lodolo of the Cincinnati Reds. I know that both Austin and Drake are big fans of Lodolo. Austin actually got to see a lot of Lodolo down at TCU. So I know he loves Lodolo almost as much as I do. And number 4, I'm going to go with Rosie Contreras of the Pittsburgh Pirates. When I saw Contreras in the AFL, he was my favorite pitcher that I saw down here. And I think that he's going to be a top-of-the-line starter for the Pirates next year. And last, obviously, Juan Pinto.
That's very interesting because when Austin was on here talking about his top 5, he had a bunch of premium prospects. When Milton was on here, he had a bunch of premium prospects. Cadon, I think you and I both had a lot of guys that really are like mid-level prospects right now, like maybe 10 to 20 in systems, or not even ranked. And we like them because of what we saw or what. So yeah, good on you, man.
Thank you.
Okay, well, apparently y'all are mid-level BFFs. I see how it is.
Well, let's just say we're better at grading prospects than you.
Oh, okay. Hot take alert.
Wow.
I mean, it's easy to pick top guys that everyone else has. I mean, finding the mid-level prospects is obviously the hard part in scouting. So maybe you and Milton just don't know what you're doing yet.
Hey, I saw Colton Cowser. A ton at Sam Houston State. So I might have some really, top names in there, but
So after that roast fest of Cadon to Austin there and Milton, who's not even in the chat or in the podcast to defend himself. On that note, I think that we got to end this. This has been fun. We got to talk a little bit about prospects that people don't even know about, prospects that people do know about, maybe people have given up on. But, that's going to be it for us today. This has been Prospects Overload. I'm your host, Drake Mann. And Austin, Cadon, anything you guys want to plug? Say bye.
Yeah,
Bookmark this podcast because in 8 years when Juan Pinto has won the Cy Young, remember who called it first.
All right. Well, I think that, it was a pretty good conclusion. So I say we end it there.
All right. So this has been Prospects Worldwide, bringing you Prospects Overload. That is a mouthful. And we are working hard on those lists. We're going to get them out in the next couple months, like Austin was saying, or in the last podcast. But you know what, guys? Peace. Have a good one. Be safe,
Peace.
everybody.
Peace, everybody.